Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, October 7th, 2020. Today I'm going to recap game number 4 of the NBA Finals, the Major League Baseball divisional round games, the first round of the Nhl Draft, Wnba Finals from yesterday, NFL COVID cases emerging, Dancing with the Stars recap from yesterday, Masked Singer preview for tonight, and my best bet for the day. All right, we'll start with the NBA Finals. Game number 4. It was a competitive game. It was close. But ultimately, the Los Angeles Lakers came out on top by a score of 102-96 to take a commanding 3-1 series lead. LeBron James, 28 points, 12 boards and 8 assists. Anthony Davis, 22, 9, and 4. Danny Green had 10. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope had 15, including a big three-pointer late in the game. Their bench did nothing. They got away with the bench doing absolutely nothing. I mean, you got to give credit to James and Davis and I guess KCP for the three-pointer, I guess. And Dwight Howard was scoreless too. And then Miami, Jimmy Butler had 22 points, 10 boards and 9 assists, so he's an assist shy of a triple-double. Tyler Herro had 21 with 7 boards. Bam Adebayo, 15 with 7 boards. Duncan Robinson had 17. And their bench did nothing too. That's what ultimately came back to bite them. If they had Goran Dragic in this game, they win. So if he comes back for Game 5, I'm certainly going to pick them to force a Game 6. I just think that both teams' benches were horrible. Did nothing. And LeBron and AD were just better. And the loss of Dragic hurt the Heat a little bit. So we'll see what happens on Friday night as the series is going on a little bit of a hiatus here. Now I'm going to do the WNBA Finals from yesterday. That was another interesting game, as the Storm wrapped it all up 92-59, as the Storm are your WNBA champions. Second one in 3 years. They were injury ravaged a year ago. They're all healthy and back. They win this year. I felt so good about the Storm, and they came through. Brianna Stewart had 26 points to lead the way. Jewel Lloyd had 19. Sue Bird only had 5 with 7 assists. Natasha Howard only had 5 with 7 boards. Then Jordan Canada off the bench had 15. And on the other side, Angel McCoutry had a bad game. She only had 7. Aja Wilson had 18 with 6 boards. And Jackie Young was the only other ace scorer in double digits with 11. That was easily the worst game the Aces had in the postseason. It came at the worst time. Congratulations to the Storm. Now it's going to be an interesting offseason for the WNBA. Does it return on time in May? Probably, because everything's going to be over by then, I would think. I mean, COVID, election, etc. So you would think things would be somewhat normal by next spring. They're probably going to have the lottery again, maybe at some point soon. Then obviously the draft. And college basketball looks like it's going to be happening too. So that's very good news for women's basketball as well. So, like I said, I'm going to try to get Mags on maybe next week. I'm having some technical issues with the iPad, which is where I normally record my guests. That's why we haven't heard guests in a while. I haven't had anybody on. So hopefully we get that fixed. Maybe we can have Mags on to analyze some WNBA stuff. Now we'll move on to baseball. The divisional round. We had 4 games yesterday. Some were intriguing, others were not. Braves over the Marlins 9-5 to take a 1-0 series lead. Will Smith the win, Sandy Alcantara the loss. Bottom of the first, home run, Ronald Acuna Jr. 1-0 Braves. Top of the second, Miguel Rojas homer. Ties it at 1-1. Top of the third, 2-run double by Garrett Cooper makes it 3-1 Marlins. RBI single, Brian Anderson, 4-1 Marlins. Bottom of the third, RBI double, Marcell Ozuna, 4-2. RBI double, Travis d'Arnaud, 4-3. Bottom of the seventh, RBI single, Marcell Ozuna, 4-4. 3-run go-ahead home run, Travis d'Arnaud, 7-4 Braves. 2-run homer, Dansby Swanson, 9-4 Braves. And the top of the eighth, RBI single, Matt Joyce, 9-5. And that was your final. Max Fried had a bad game. 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Then Darren O'Day came in. Then Tyler Matza came in. Then Will Smith, Chris Martin, Mark Melancon each for an inning. And on the other side, Sandy Alcantara, 6 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, a walk, and 8 strikeouts. Then Yimi Garcia for a third. Then James Hoyt for 2/3. And then the former Ray, Ryan Stanek, for an inning. Astros over the Athletics 5-2 to take a 2-0 series lead. Framber Valdez the win, Sean Manaea the loss, Ryan Presley the save. Bottom of the second, home run, Chris Davis, 1-0 A's. Chris Davis has been marvelous in the series and in the postseason. Top of the third, 2-run shot, George Springer, 2-1 Strohs. Top of the fourth, RBI groundout, Carlos Correa, 3-1 Strohs. Bottom of the fourth, home run, Chad Pinder makes it 3-2. Top of the fifth, home run, Martin Maldonado makes it 4-2. George Springer with his second home run of the day, 5-2 Astros, and that was it. Valdez, 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 4 strikeouts. Then Enoli Paredes for an inning, and then Ryan Presley to close it out. Sean Manaea, 4 1/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, a walk, 2 strikeouts. Then Yusmeiro Petit for 2/3, Mike Minor for 2, Joaquin Soria for 1, and Lou Trevino for 1. Rays over the Yanks 7-5 to even up the series at 1 apiece. Tyler Glasnow the win, Jay Happ the loss, Peter Fairbanks with the save. Bottom of the first, home run Randy Arozarena, 1-0 Rays. Top of the second, home run Giancarlo Stanton, 1-1. Bottom of the second, 2-run shot Mike Zunino, 3-1 Rays. Bottom of the third, 2-run shot Manuel Margot, 5-1 Rays. Top of the fourth, 3-run shot Giancarlo Stanton makes it a 5-4 game. Bottom of the fifth, RBI single Kevin Kiermaier, 6-4. Bottom of the sixth, home run Austin Meadows, 7-4. Top of the ninth, Yankees make it interesting. RBI single DJ LeMay makes it 7-5. And that's your game. Tyler Glasnow, 5 innings, 3 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. And then Diego Castillo for an inning plus Nick Anderson for 2 and Peter Fairbanks for 1. TV Garcia got the start, an inning, a hit, and no run, no walks, no strikeouts. He was pretty much the opener. Jay Happ, 2 2/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Long layoff hurt him. He had no role in the wild card series. And he just was lousy last night. Adam Ottavino for 2/3. Jonathan Weisiga for an inning and 2/3. Jonathan Holder for an inning. Nick Nelson for an inning. And now we got an interesting series in the American League. Dodgers over the Padres, 5-1 to take a 1-0 series lead from Globe Life Stadium. Dustin May the win. Garrett Richards with the loss. Top of the fourth, RBI single, Austin Nola, and the Padres went up 1-0. Bottom of the fifth, error in the game by Jake Cronenworth scores Justin Turner, 1-1. Bottom of the sixth, sac fly, Corey Seager, 2-1 Dodgers. RBI single, Justin Turner, 3-1. Infield single, Cody Bellinger, 4-1. And wild pitch by Craig Stammen scores Max Muncy, 5-1 Dodgers. That was it. Walker Buehler, 4 innings, 2 hits and a run, 4 walks, 8 strikeouts. Dustin May for 2, struck out 3. Then Victor Gonzalez for 1. Then Blake Trinan for an inning and a third. And Kenley Jansen for 2/3 of an inning. San Diego, Mike Clevenger for 1. 1 strikeout, 3 walks. He got injured again. He was in there for an inning plus, actually. Pierce Johnson for an inning and a third. Ryan Weathers for an inning and a third. And that was his big league debut, by the way. Austin Adams for a third of an inning. Tim Hill for 2/3. Garrett Richards for 2/3. Matt Strahm for a third. Craig Stammen for an inning and a third. And Lou Patino for an inning. 4 more games again today. It should be fun. The game times are different than they were yesterday. You got at, I believe, 2 o'clock again, the Braves hosting the Marlins. Yep, that's the right time. 8.5 is the total. Juice to the over, 8.5 and minus 122. Unders plus 100, so even money. Braves minus 215. Marlins plus 184. Braves run line minus 1.5 at even money. And Marlins run line minus 118. I predicted the Braves sweep, and I'm going to continue to do it. Ian Anderson against Pablo Lopez. I still like the Braves run line at plus 1.5 or minus 1.5 and plus money. And that's going to be the play here in this game. 3:30, you have the Athletics and the Astros. Jesus Luzardo, Jose Urquidy. Astros win away from the American League Championship Series. Astros are minus 116. A's plus 102. Over under 9. Over even money. Under minus 122. And the number's at 9. Run line, Astros minus 1.5 plus 154. A's minus 184 plus 1.5. I want to take the A's again. It bit me in the ass. I'm going to take the over. I think there's going to be more runs in this game than there were in game number 2. I think the A's offense is going to be a little better here. And I think that the Astros can get some runs off of Luzardo too. I think the A's win the Forza game 4. Do I feel good about it? No. But I'm going to take the over for the play of this game. Rays Yankees, 7 o'clock. Yankees minus 128. Rays plus 112. Over under 9.5 overs plus 104. Unders minus 128. Yanks run line plus 150 and minus 1.5. And Rays run line plus 1.5 and minus 178. Yanks are favored. Is it the right call to make them a favorite? Yes. Masahiro Tanaka in the postseason is money. Charlie Morton has had some playoff success with the Rays before, but he's been bad this year. He's not been the same pitcher. So I think the Yankees deserve to be favored here. Just like I said, the Rays deserve to be favored yesterday. And the Yankees deserve to be favored in game 1. So I think Vegas has got the line right in terms of the favorite in each game of this series. I'm going to ride my baby. And my baby has been the over in the Rays-Yankee series. Plus 104. So give me the over again. I think the Yankees win this one. Let's say 7-4. I think that they'll get more home runs this time. I think Masahiro Tanaka will get the big outs. He'll have a better start than he did in game number 2 against the Indians. And I think that the Yanks will take a 2-1 series lead. Then last but not least, 9 o'clock, Fox Sports 1, Padres Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw going for the Dodgers. We don't know who's going for San Diego yet. We don't know what the sides and the totals are going to be. I'm probably going to lean the over in this one too. I think that San Diego's offense will be better. Clayton Kershaw in the postseason, we know that's a Scotty history there, especially past the 6th inning. But he got away with it against the Brewers. He gave up back-to-back hits and then got out of it. But the Padres are a different beast than the Dodgers. I want to pick the Padres to even up the series so bad. I wonder if they're going to do bullpenning or Chris Paddock. If the Padres are like 2-1, I'll take a shot on them, but I doubt it. So I'm probably going to go with the over, and it's I projected to be like 7.5, 8 in terms of the Vegas line. And I think that the Dodgers win this game, like 6-3, to take a 2-0 series lead in the best of 7. So to recap the picks, Braves run line in the first game, minus 1.5 plus 100. Over 9 plus 100 in game 3 between the A's and the Astros. Over 9.5 plus 104 in Rays Yankees, and I'll probably take the over in the Padres Dodgers game as well. Now I'm going to go over the NHL Draft from last night. It was predictable at the top. The Rangers, of course, took Alexis Lafreniere, who was a lock to go number 1 overall. And they got themselves another great offensive player. They're loaded at the wing position now. The Kings at number 2 go with Quinton Byfield. I thought he was the second best player in the draft. Ottawa, with the Sharks pick, took Tim Stützle. He was the third best player in the draft. Red Wings at 4 took Lucas Raymond. I thought that was a reach. I think they should have gone one of the defensemen or one of the centermen. The Senators at 5 at their own pick took Jake Sanderson. That was a good pick. Ducks at 6 go with Jamie Drysdale, the D-man. Good pick. Devils at 7 go with Alexander Holtz. I thought that was a solid pick. Buffalo at 8 go with Jack Quinn. Semi-reach, I would have gone with the center there. Minnesota at 9 go with Marco Rossi. That was a good pick. Winnipeg at 10 go with Cole Perfetti. Good pick. The Preds go with the goalie Yaroslav Askarov, which is not surprising. There are rumors that they were going to potentially go in that way, and they did it. The Panthers at 12 go with Antoine Lundell, which wasn't bad. The Hurricanes at 13 go with Seth Jarvis. That was a solid pick. 14th, the Oilers go with Dylan Holloway, which was typical Oilers, ignoring defense in the draft like they always do. I mean, Evan Bouchard was like the only time they went defense in the first round. And then they went Darnell Nurse 1 year too, but just feels so Oilers of them to overdraft the center. I like Dylan Holloway, but he should have gone later. Maple Leafs at 15, there was the pick they got from the Penguins. Rodion Amarov was the pick. Not a bad one there. Montreal at 16 go with Caden Gould, which was an interesting pick. I didn't think they'd go defense there. Blackhawks at 17 go with Lucas Rico. I thought that was an overdraft there. The Devils with the Arizona pick take Dawson Mercer to center. That wasn't a bad choice. Rangers trade up from 22 to 19 to take Braden Schneider, the D-man. Excellent selection. I think Toronto should have gone with him at 15. Montreal, I think, was a head-scratcher passing on him for Caden Gould. Even Chicago should have gone with him, or New Jersey, for that matter. But good on the Rangers taking advantage of some teams not, ignoring this talented D-man that should have gone top 15. Devils with the 20th pick from Vancouver via Tampa take Shakir Mukhamadullin, who I thought should have been like a second rounder or late first. The Blue Jackets go with Yegor Chinakhov. Not bad. Capitals trade up to that Ranger spot, as this pitch goes really from Carolina, and then the Rangers, and then Calgary jumped back to that spot, and then Calgary jumped back again. As the Caps go with Hendrix Lapierre. Great selection. Lapierre should have been top 20, but he falls to 22. The Flyers at 23 go with Tyson Forster. He's someone I thought would go like a little later in this round. Calgary gets Connor Zary, the center. That was a great pick. Trading down twice and Connor Zary lands in your lap. That's wonderful. Going by Calgary. Colorado at 25 go with the D-man Justin Barron. Not bad. St. Louis Blues goes with Jake Neighbors. That's what I had in my first mock draft. The Ducks with the Bruins pick go with Jacob Perreault. So they have a D-man and a wing. Senators from the Islanders. That's the Juan Gabriel Pageau pick. Ridley Greig, not a bad pick for Ottawa. So they have themselves a center. they have themselves the D-man and the wing. They came away with a great, great first round. Vegas takes Brendan Breeson at 29, which was a good pick. Dallas goes with Marvik Baruch, which screams Stars as like a Stars type of player. And then the Sharks, with their pick from the Lightning, go with Ozzy Weisblatt. And then the second round is obviously going to start this afternoon. There's some interesting players that are still available. So you got Noel Gunler, who I thought would have gone last night, William Wallander, John Jason Pitskara, Jane Mask, or Mysak, my bad, Thomas Bordlow, Helge Grands, Jermaine Proyer, Ryan O'Rourke, Marat Konitsinov, Topi Niemla, Roni Hronin, that's who I thought Dallas would go with, and Emil Andre. So those are some solid players left. And you have Red Wings, Senators, Sharks, Kings, Ducks, Predators from the Devils, Sabres, Wild, Jets, Hurricanes from the Rangers, so that's Adam Foxdeal, Preds, Panthers, Leafs, Wings from the Edmonton Oilers, Blackhawks from Pittsburgh via Vegas, Montreal again, Calgary, Kings from Vancouver, Sens from Columbus, Hurricanes, Flyers, Red Wings from Washington, San Jose from Colorado via Washington, Montreal from St. Louis. So that was the in the trade from the defenseman this year, blanking on the guy's name. Bruins, Senators from Islanders, Kings from Vegas, Senators from Dallas via Vegas, Tampa Bay, and then it's round 3 through 7. So it's going to be an interesting day in hockey for sure. And now I want to discuss some NFL news that we are receiving right now and within the last hour. 2 more positive COVID tests for the Tennessee Titans. Now I think this puts their game on Sunday against the Bills in jeopardy. And this puts in the ramifications a little bit because the Bills next Thursday are supposed to play the Chiefs on Thursday Night Football. So it'd be risky to move their game to Monday night because then the Bills would be playing on 2 days rest. So they didn't move that game to Monday and they moved Thursday Night Football to Friday Night Football. I think that is not out of the question. That's what I would do personally if they weren't to move that Titans game. Or do the Titans forfeit or do they cancel the game outright? So there are so many what ifs and hard decisions that the NFL is going to have to make with this Sunday's Bills-Titans game with these 2 more positive tests. And the Titans were supposed to reopen the facility today, but there are 2 more positives, so nope. Raiders have a positive now, and then Stephon Gilmore tested positive. So I don't think that'll affect those respective games because they're single COVID positives. And the only reason why they had to move that Patriots game because A, it was Cam Newton, and B, they were traveling. So that's the only reason why they had to move that game. This week, the Patriots host Denver, and then the Raiders have to go play the Chiefs. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Raiders, but I don't think they'll cancel either of those games. It's only 1 player on each side. And maybe if it was Saturday rather than Wednesday for the Raider positive, then that's a different story. So crazy COVID news in the NFL this morning that I had to get to. And then one more NFL news item that I'd like to talk about is the benching of Dwayne Haskins. It's somewhat surprising. And Dwayne Haskins threw for 312 yards the other day. Like, he wasn't that bad, but he was bad against the Browns. He was bad against the Eagles in the first half, and then he was bad against Arizona. And now Kyle Allen starting for Washington. Kyle Allen had some success with the Panthers last year, and then the Panthers fired Ron Rivera. And they traded for this guy knowing that this regime that's currently there didn't draft Haskins. And I feel bad for Dwayne Haskins. I thought this guy was going to be a megastar in the NFL. I thought that the Giants should have taken him instead of Daniel Jones at 6. And the Giants look a little bit better today than they did then, and perhaps a lot better, because Daniel Jones was much better as a rookie than Dwayne Haskins. Jones has struggled this year due to offensive line being poor and no Saquon Barkley, obviously, as well. And he has gone up against a couple good defenses, Rams, Steelers. Even the 49ers defense without Bosa isn't horrible, although Carson Wentz had success against it the other day, although the Eagles did get a pick 6, so that's why their point total was a little deceiving in that Niners game. And then, who's the other defense Jones went up against? Week 2. Oh, the Bears. That's Khalil Mack, so that's another good defense. So he went up against 4 good defenses, and then this week he goes against perhaps the worst defense in the league in Dallas. And then, meanwhile, Haskins, Philly defense, not that good. Browns defense stinks. Arizona's defense stinks, as we saw these last couple weeks. And then Baltimore's defense is okay. It's not bad at all. It's actually pretty good. So I think this benching of Dwayne Haskins is a little bit unfair. And it's just disappointing for him. And now the Redskins are certainly in play for, say if Allen is bad and then they go back to Haskins and he struggles. Now, do they decide to tank and go for Trevor Lawrence and Trey Lance and Justin Fields and give up on Haskins? Like, I feel so bad for the kid. That he was a stud at Ohio State. I thought he had a chance to be Deshaun Watson-like, but he's been nothing like that. I mean, I think the Redskins obviously made a panic move here, and obviously Ron Rivera wanted to go with his guy in Kyle Allen rather than the guy he didn't draft in Dwayne Haskins. And if the Redskins season turns around and if Kyle Allen plays well, similar to like he did when he played well with the Panthers last year for those couple weeks, then that's a different story. So, it's going to be very interesting to see how Kyle Allen plays for Washington with these next couple weeks. Now we'll get to TV, Dancing with the Stars, results from last night. I want to go over the results from a couple weeks ago as well, because if I'm not mistaken, I didn't go over the results because of they had the debate, so they really didn't have the results. So, we had the Disney week last week. This week's theme was just the top 13. Nelly and Daniela did a Paso Doble to All I Do Is Win by DJ Khaled. They got a 21. Chriselle and Gleb did a Foxtrot to Adore You by Harry Styles. They got a 22. Monica and Val did a Samba to Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus. They got a 24. Ann and Ko did a Paso Doble to Rise by Katy Perry. Got a 21. Nev and Jenna did a Rumba to Because You Loved Me by Celine Dion. Got a 24. Justina and Sasha did a Salsa to Que Viva La Vida by Wisin and got a 24. Caitlin and Artem did a Finesse Waltz to Beautiful Crazy by Luke Combs and did a 25 as their score. Johnny and Britt did a Jive Dance to Crocodile Rock by Elton John and got a 24. Jenny and Brandon did a Tango to Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes and got a 21. Vernon and Peta did a Rumba to Let's Stay Together by Al Green and got a 22. Jesse and Sharna did a Cha 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 to Smooth by Santana featuring Rob Thomas and got a 21. Sky and Alan did a Foxtrot to Ordinary People by John Legend and got a 28. They got the highest score of the week. And AJ and Cheryl did a Cha 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 to Larger Than Life by the Backstreet Boys. That's fitting that AJ does his own song. 24 was their score. Monica and Val were originally called Safe, but due to an error, they were later announced in the bottom two along with Ann and Keo. Monica and Val got the save from Wnba and How, and Tony Oli did not vote, but would have saved Monica and Val. And the couple that got booted off this week was Ann and Keo, who got the lowest score of 21. And I thought all the dances were good this week. They did Rise by Katy Perry. I thought had a good dance. I thought everybody was good this week. I thought if anybody got voted off this week, it would have been Nelly and Daniela. I really think that their dance was sort of the weakest. And then I thought that, quite frankly, Ann and Keo should have stayed another week. And I thought that Caitlin and Artem had a great number too. The Beautiful Crazy by Luke Combs. I thought that was outstanding. And obviously Skay and Alan did great too. And there's a couple that I thought were awesome. So this week in Dancing with the Stars was certainly awesome. And then the week before, Carol Baskin rightfully got voted off with Pasha. And then obviously they did the Circle of Life dance. And then the judges saved Ann and Keo the week before. And then Wnba would have saved them as well. Now Masked Singer, Group A playoff tonight. So somebody from Group A is getting unmasked. We're going to talk about Group A a little bit. There's 5 characters remaining. I'm sorry, 4. I forgot that there's a double, the Snow Owls. So obviously, if they do the Super 9 again, which they liked, obviously the 3 that advance will go. I think it's very predictable how this is going to play out. So we'll talk about the characters first. The Sun was very summery themed. There were Mickey Mouse ears in the Clue package. There was Frozen in there too. That's made everybody think of Idina Menzel. Ray of Light, there's a yellow heart in there. She performed Because I Love You. Nicole Scherzinger thought it was Catherine McPhee. Demi Lovato was Jenny McCarthy's guest. Ken Jeong, with the stupidest guest of the year, went with Madonna. I thought it was Christina Aguilera. There's the Disney hint. And then that first note. And then that very loud signature note she hits. Reminded me so much of her. And I'm going to stick with that guess of Christina Aguilera for now. The giraffe hinted about Carnival. There are $3 in there. There are bumper cars, apples. There's jokes in there. Roller coaster career. He performed Let's Get It Started by the Black Eyed Peas. I thought it was Vanilla Ice, as did Robin. Ken Jeong went with Garth Brooks. Jenny McCarthy went with Travis Barker. I think there's a chance this is an athlete. Maybe it's Russell Wilson. I just thought of that the other day because there's some athlete hints in there as well. What does the number 3 mean? But Russell Wilson really hasn't had a roller coaster career. But maybe he's had a roller coaster life, like before football. So I don't think it's Russell Wilson. But I threw his name out there because I could see him doing this show. If any NFL star did this show that wasn't J.J. Watt, I would think it'd be Russell Wilson because obviously with Ciara and Seahawks quarterback, so everybody knows him. But yeah, I'm going to stick with Vanilla Ice for the giraffe. Popcorn, she hinted at Snacks in the City, which may be a reference to Sex in the City. There's a starfish. Hardcore Luster, there's Meatloaf. Maybe it's somebody from the band. There's a laptop in there. There's fish. There's tiger. That's in there as well. Of course, the tiger had Ken Jeong saying Carol Baskin, which was his hint. And there was a merry-go-round in there. And it said, Proud Mary on the sign, which had me thinking Tina Turner. And she performed What About Us by Pink. Jenny McCarthy went with Tina Turner as well. Nicole Scherzinger went with Mary J. Blige. And Robin did not have a guess. The Dragon was who got eliminated. Wound up being Busta Rhymes. Jenny McCarthy went with DMX. Ken Jeong went with Michael Phelps. He performed Mama Said Knock You Out. There are 3 trophies, a wishbone, there are leaves. Outrageous costumes. See, there's hints about that. There's fire. There's a timer. And just sounded like Busta. And it was pretty cool because he did a song with the Pussycat Dolls, Don't Ya? So it was really cool for Nicole, obviously, for that one. And then the Snow Owls, I think, are very intriguing. They hinted about jamming a lot. They said that they hadn't seen each other in a while before reuniting on The Masked Singer. There's a castle. There's a red rose. There's like Let It Snow hints. And then he hinted at egging on her. And then there's a castle, which had maybe people thinking about a Disney castle. And they performed Say Something by A Great Big World. They were outstanding. I went with Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens of High School Musical. I really think the man sounded a lot like Efron, and then the woman sounded a lot like Hudgens, but could be wrong. Robin Thicke went with Amy Grant and Vince Gill. Jenny McCarthy made a bad guess of Donnie and Marie Osmond, because there's a hint of haven't seen each other in a while. They did a show together. And Donnie was already on the show, so that's a horrible guess. Ken Jeong went with Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara, which I thought was his best guess of the first week. And Nicole did not throw out a guess. And my prediction tonight is that I think that Giraffe goes home. And I'm going to stick with Vanilla Ice for now, but if I have a new guess for Giraffe throughout the show and he gets eliminated, then I'll go with that guess as my final guess for the Giraffe. And then you would have the Snow Owls, the Sun, and Popcorn going on to the Super 9. And those are obviously the best ones in that group. And Group B, by the way, from last week was phenomenal. So imagine those 5, or 3 of those 5, which is going to be tough. They're going to eliminate 2, obviously, from Group B within the next couple weeks. So whomever comes out from Group B with Group A, and then you still have Group C that is yet to go. And hopefully Group C finally gets a shot next week, because you have broccoli, squiggly monster, mushroom, jellyfish, and lips. So you have 5 more to go in Group C, which hopefully will get going next week. Best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. It's very hard, obviously, because you only have 4 games, all Major League Baseball. My 2 favorite plays are the run line, the Braves, Marlins, and Yankees, Rays over 9.5. And now it's down to 9. Why is that going down? Or wait a minute, I thought it was at 9.5. But went down to 9 and the juice is on the under. An over 9 in Athletics Astros is good too. But this is tough, guys. I'm going to take the Braves run line -1.5 against the Marlins. I think the Marlins are a little fraudulent. I like what I've seen from the Braves in the playoffs thus far. They've overcome a lot this year. I think that they'll go up 2-0. I predicted a sweep, so I'm going to say Braves run line -1.5 at even money against the Miami Marlins for best bet of the day. That's it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping the baseball playoff games, the latest with the NFL COVID situation, Thursday night football. I believe we have college football tomorrow as well, so we'll pick games in college football. Recap the rest of the NHL Draft, recap Masked Singer, and my best bet as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.